To completely reshape your world and your experience of life, consider for a moment your current state. Perhaps you find yourself facing challenges, feeling that things often go against you, or maybe you've experienced some successes, but still feel that life is a constant struggle. Wherever you are, say unto you, you are exactly where you need to be to grasp this life-altering principle. But what does it mean to act as if everything always works out for you? It is not a matter of blind optimism or denying the challenges you face. It is a state of consciousness, a shift in perception that aligns you with the creative power of the universe. It is about recognizing that your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner assumption. Let us delve deeper into this profound truth. Your outer world, every experience you have, every circumstance you encounter is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world. It is a mirror faithfully reflecting back to you the sum total of your beliefs, assumptions, and most importantly, your dominant state of consciousness. When you understand this, truly understand it, you realize that by acting as if everything always works out for you, you are actively creating a reality where this is true. This understanding is crucial, for it shifts the entire paradigm of how you approach life. No longer are you a victim of circumstance, hoping that things will work out. You will become the active creator of your reality, knowing that as you assume the state of one for whom everything works out, the universe must rearrange itself to match this assumption. But how? You may ask, does one adopt this state of consciousness? The answer lies in the power of your wonderful human imagination. For your imagination is not a mere fantasy maker. It is the very workshop in which reality is forged. When you use your imagination to feel the reality of being someone for whom everything always works out, you are not engaging in idle daydreaming. You are engaging in the most powerful creative act known to man. Let's take a moment to truly understand this. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience in the outer world. It accepts as true whatever you feel to be true. And once it accepts an idea as true, it proceeds to bring it into manifestation in your physical reality. So, when you act as if everything always works out for you, when you assume this state in your imagination, you are not being delusional or engaging in wishful thinking. You are actively creating your reality from within. You are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe, allowing it to work through you and for you. This, my dear listeners, is the essence of acting as if everything always works out for you. It is about recognizing that the power to shape your reality lies within you, waiting to be expressed. It is about understanding that your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner assumptions and feelings. Consider the biblical phrase, all things work together for good to them that love God. This is not about some external deity favoring certain individuals. It is about aligning yourself with the creative principle of the universe, which some call God, others call the subconscious mind, and others still call the law of assumption. When you love this principle, when you align yourself with it by assuming that everything works out for you, you set in motion forces beyond your comprehension that indeed make all things work together for your good. But let me be clear. The state of consciousness is not about passivity or simply wishing for good things to happen. It is about a fundamental shift in how you perceive and interact with the world. When you truly embody the state of one for whom everything works out, your actions naturally align with this assumption. You begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You approach challenges with confidence rather than fear. You make decisions from a place of assurance rather than doubt. Let us explore this further with an example. Imagine a person who constantly assumes that things will go wrong, that life is a struggle, that success is hard to come by. This person might hesitate to take risks, might approach new opportunities with skepticism, might give up easily in the face of setbacks. And in doing so, they create a reality that confirms their assumptions. They are living from the state of one for whom things don't work out. And so the universe faithfully reflects this state back to them. Now imagine this same person shifting their approach. Instead of assuming struggle and failure, they begin to act as if everything always works out for them. They feel the confidence, the ease, the assurance of someone who knows that no matter what happens, it will ultimately be for their good. They live each day from this feeling, carrying themselves with the certainty of someone for whom life always unfolds in the best possible way. In this state, they approach life differently. They see setbacks as temporary and ultimately beneficial. They view challenges as opportunities for growth. They make decisions boldly, trusting that things will work out. And in doing so, they begin to create a reality that matches this new assumption. They allow a life of ease and success to flow into their experience, drawn by the power of their new dominant state. This principle applies to every aspect of your life. Whether you're dealing with relationships, career, health, or any other area, the key is to first assume the state of one for whom everything works out in that area. For what you are seeking is also seeking you, but it can only find expression through you when you align yourself with its frequency. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, isn't this just positive thinking? Isn't this denial of reality? And to this I say emphatically no. This is not about denying your current circumstances. It is about understanding the true nature of reality and the creative power of your consciousness. Your current circumstances are nothing more than the fruit of your past assumptions and beliefs. They have no power to determine your future unless you give them that power by continuing to focus on them and feel their reality. When you shift your focus, when you assume a new state of consciousness, you are not denying reality. You are exercising your divine right to choose which reality you wish to experience. Remember, the outer world is dead. It has no life of its own. It is your consciousness that gives life to your experiences. When you react to circumstances as if things often go wrong, you are breathing life into a reality where things do indeed go wrong. But when you act as if everything always works out for you, you cause your outer world to rearrange itself to match this new inner conviction. This, my dear friends, is the true secret to creating a life where everything works out for you. It is about aligning yourself with the law of assumption, recognizing that your desired reality is seeking expression through you and allowing it to flow into your experience through the power of your imagination and feeling. But let me warn you, this shift in consciousness is not always an easy path. The old habits of reacting to circumstances, of letting your feelings be dictated by what you see, are deeply ingrained in our collective consciousness. As you embark on this new way of being, you may find resistance arising within you. Doubts may creep in, old patterns may try to reassert themselves. When this happens, do not fight against these thoughts and feelings. Simply observe them, acknowledge them, and then gently return to your new assumed state. For the war is not won by battling against what you don't want, but by persistently embodying the state of what you do want. This persistence, this unwavering faith in the face of contrary evidence, is what allows you to truly create a reality where everything always works out for you. Think of it like tuning a radio. When you're trying to listen to a particular station, you don't focus on eliminating all the other stations. You simply tune into the frequency you desire. In the same way, you don't need to fight against your current reality or forcefully push away thoughts of things not working out. You simply need to tune yourself to the frequency of one for whom everything works out, to align yourself with the feeling of being such a person. This tuning is done through your imagination and your ability to generate feeling states. Your imagination is the dial that allows you to tune into different frequencies of experience. As you use your imagination to assume the feeling of being someone for whom everything works out, you are tuning yourself to that frequency, allowing the corresponding experiences to flow into your life. But remember, my friends, this is not a one-time event. Acting as if everything always works out for you is a way of life. It's a constant choice to maintain this state of consciousness, regardless of appearances. Just as you wouldn't expect to stay in shape by exercising once. You cannot expect to create a reality where everything works out by imagining it once. This is about persistently assuming this state, about living from this consciousness day in and day out, until it becomes your new normal. As you do this, you will find that your perception of events begins to shift. What once seemed like setbacks or failures now appear as stepping stones or valuable lessons. You begin to trust in the perfect unfolding of your life knowing that everything is always working out for your highest good. Now, some of you may be wondering, but Neville, how can I maintain this state when things seem to be going wrong? How can I act as if everything is working out when I face real challenges? And to this I say, your imagination is more powerful than any circumstance. Consider for a moment. Have you ever been deeply engrossed in a book or a movie? In those moments where you're not feeling real emotions based on imaginary events, your feelings were real, even though the events were not happening in your physical reality. This is the power you must harness to act as if everything always works out for you. You must use your imagination to create scenarios that evoke the feelings associated with everything working out. Imagine how you would feel if you knew with absolute certainty that every event in your life was ultimately for your good. Feel the peace, the confidence, the joy that would come with that knowledge. Feel these states as vividly and as consistently as you can. The key is to make these imaginal acts as real to you as possible. Engage all your senses. Feel the relief of knowing everything is working out. See the evidence of things working in your favor. Hear the conversations you would have if everything always worked out for you. Make it real in your mind, and the feelings will naturally follow. But here's a crucial point, my friends. The goal is not to imagine specific outcomes. The goal is to capture the essence of the feeling state associated with being someone for whom everything works out. For it is this feeling state that is the true attractor of your experiences. Let me illustrate this with an example. Suppose you're facing a challenging situation at work. Instead of imagining a specific resolution, capture the feeling essence of being someone for whom everything always works out. What does it feel like to approach challenges with complete confidence that they will resolve in the best possible way? How does it feel to know that no matter what happens, it will ultimately benefit you? What is the feeling of moving through life with the assurance that everything is always working in your favor? By focusing on the feeling essence rather than specific outcomes, you allow the universe to bring your desire to you in ways that might far exceed your specific imaginings. You open yourself to possibilities beyond what your current mindset can conceive. This is the true art of acting as if everything always works out for you. It's not about forcing yourself to believe something against all evidence. It's about tapping into the reality of this state in the only place it truly exists, in your consciousness. As you practice this, you may find that your outer world begins to shift in subtle ways. Perhaps opportunities you never noticed before suddenly seem to appear, or challenges resolve themselves in unexpected ways, or you find yourself feeling more at peace and confident regardless of external circumstances. These are all signs that your inner shift is creating ripples in your outer reality. Don't discount these small changes. Celebrate them. See them as confirmation that the law is working, that your assumption is taking root. But don't become attached to them or anxiously look for them. Simply acknowledge them with gratitude and continue to live from your assumed state of being someone for whom everything always works out. As you persist in this practice, larger changes will begin to manifest. You may find yourself naturally attracting favorable circumstances. You may notice that even seemingly negative events end up working out in your favor. And as you continue to act from this state of consciousness, you'll discover that life becomes an exciting adventure, full of wonderful surprises and perfect unfoldings. But remember, the outer manifestation is not the goal. The goal is the state of consciousness from which the perfect unfolding of your life naturally flows. This is a crucial point, my friends. When you're truly acting as if everything always works out for you, when you're fully embodying this state, you no longer need external circumstances to confirm your assumption. You're already whole, already complete in your knowing that all is well. And paradoxically, it's in this state of inner assurance that you're most likely to experience a life where everything does indeed work out perfectly. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, what about taking action? Don't we need to do things in the physical world to make things work out? And to this I say, yes, action is part of the process. But it's inspired action, not anxious doing. When you're living from the state of one, for whom everything works out, Ideas and opportunities will naturally present themselves to you. You will feel inspired to take certain actions, to move in certain directions. These actions won't feel like struggle or effort. They'll feel natural, joyful, almost effortless. This is the difference between making things happen and allowing them to happen. When you're trying to force outcomes, actions feel stressful, born out of fear and doubt. When you're acting as if everything always works out, actions flow naturally from your assumed state, guided by an inner wisdom that knows exactly how to bring about the best possible outcomes. Consider the example of a river. A river doesn't strain to reach the ocean. It doesn't force its way through obstacles. It simply flows, naturally finding the path of least resistance. You, my dear listeners, are no different. When you align yourself with the state of one for whom everything works out, you allow your life to flow naturally and effortlessly towards its highest good. But let me be clear, this state of allowing is not passive. It requires an active use of your imagination, a deliberate assumption of the feeling of being someone for whom everything works out. It requires faith, not blind faith in external circumstances, but faith in the creative power of your own consciousness. This faith is not about believing that things will work out someday in the future. It's about knowing that everything is already working out perfectly in the realm of imagination, and that the outer world must inevitably conform to this inner reality. As you cultivate this faith, as you persist in your assumed state, you'll begin to see evidence of things working out in your outer world. These signs may start small, an unexpected solution to a problem, a fortuitous meeting, a sudden insight that changes your perspective. Do not discount these signs, no matter how small they may seem, for they are confirmation that your inner world is indeed shaping your outer reality. They are breadcrumbs leading you to the full realization of a life where everything always works out for you. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to address a common concern that arises when people first encounter this teaching. Many worry that if they fully embrace acting as if everything always works out, they'll become complacent or lose their drive to improve their circumstances. But I assure you, my friends, the opposite is true. When you're truly living from this state, you become more inspired, more creative, more willing to take inspired risks, because you know that no matter what happens, it will work out for your good. This isn't complacency. It's ultimate confidence. In this state, you're not driven by fear or lack, but by joy and an eagerness to see how wonderfully things will unfold. You take action not because you're trying to avoid negative outcomes, but because you're excited to participate in the perfect unfolding of your life. This is the true gift of acting, as if everything always works out for you. It's not just about creating favorable circumstances, although that will happen. It's about aligning yourself with the flow of life, with the creative power of the universe. It's about recognizing your own divine nature and allowing it to express itself fully through you. In this state of alignment, of knowing that everything always works out, you become a channel for the most beautiful expressions of life. Ideas flow to you effortlessly. Opportunities present themselves naturally. The right people and circumstances appear in your life at the perfect time. This is the magic of living from the state of your wish fulfilled. But remember, this magic is not something external to you. It's not some cosmic force that you need to appease or manipulate. It is the natural expression of your own consciousness when it's aligned with the truth of your being. You are the magic. You are the miracle. You are the one for whom everything always works. As we draw time together to a close, I want to leave you with a final thought. The principle we've explored tonight, act as if everything always works out for you, is not just a technique for creating better circumstances. It's about recognizing your true nature as a divine, creative being. It's about aligning yourself with the fundamental laws of the universe and allowing your grandest expression of life to flow through you. When you live from this understanding, everything changes. The world becomes a friendly place filled with infinite possibilities. You no longer see yourself as a small, separate being struggling against external forces. Instead, you recognize yourself as the creator of your reality, the author of your own perfect unfolding. In this state, there's no need to fear or worry, for you understand that everything, absolutely everything, is always working out for your highest good. Your job is simply to assume this state, to live from this consciousness, and to allow the universe to take care of the details. So, my dear friends, as you leave here tonight, I urge you to embrace this principle with all your heart. Don't see it as a technique to be applied occasionally, but as a way of life to be lived continuously. Use your mighty imagination to assume the state of one for whom everything always works out. Feel the naturalness of being such a person. Live from this state, persist in this assumption, and watch as your world rearranges itself to match your inner vision. Remember, you're not a helpless being pushed around by external circumstances. You are the operant power in your world. Your consciousness is the one and only reality. All things are possible to him who believes, for belief shapes reality. In your journey of acting as if everything always works out for you, this belief becomes your guiding light, leading you unerringly to the realization of your perfect life. Go forth from here with this knowledge. Apply it in your life. Test it, prove it to yourself. For in doing so, you'll discover the truth of who you really are. You'll tap into the limitless power that has always been within you, and you'll experience the joy, the freedom, the fulfillment that comes from living in alignment with the laws of creation. The world is waiting for you, my friends, not as a place of struggle or uncertainty, but as a playground of perfect unfoldment. It's waiting for you to recognize your true power, to step into your divine nature, to become the person who knows with absolute certainty that everything always works out. So start now. Feel the reality of being someone for whom everything always works out. Let this feeling permeate every aspect of your being. For in truth, you are already that person. You are already living in a reality where everything works out perfectly. All you need to do is open your heart, embrace this truth, and allow it to express itself more fully in your experience. Remember, the kingdom of heaven is within you. The perfect unfoldment of your life is within you. You are the miracle you've been waiting for. Embrace this truth, live from it, and watch as your world transforms before your eyes. Acting as if everything always works out for you is not a state of blind optimism, but a state of alignment with the fundamental truth of your being. Go forth now, my dear friends, and apply this principle to your lives. Act as if everything always works out for you. Feel the reality of this truth now, before any external evidence appears. Live from that state. Persist in that assumption, and watch as the world rearranges itself to match your inner knowing. For this is the true secret to creating a life of perfect unfoldment, and it is the key to realizing your highest potential as a divine, creative being